Turbo and 2K show.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is that time of the week again, and man, oh man, even though we're rolling solo tonight, I got a great show planned for y'all. So yeah, let's everyone that's in the chat, I want to say hello and welcome. Go ahead and drop me a line, let me know who you are and where you're at. And yeah, we are officially live on Instagram as well. Finally figured out how to do that. So shout out to those of you that come across the show via Instagram. We don't post over there a lot, but the ones that are over there, thank you. And we are live on Twitter as well as the normal YouTubes and Facebook. Before we dive into anything, speaking of Facebook, at the end of the month, 2K crew, I will not be able to. I might be able to, but the likelihood of me being able to live stream into the group is very low. So please head over to youtube.com/Turbo and 2K. Subscribe over there so you don't miss us every Sunday. So let's get out and do that. That's number one. That's your homework for the week, 2K crew. That is your homework for the week. And I hope everyone had a fantastic Easter. And for those of you that did venture out of town for spring break, I hope you guys got there safe. Hope everyone had a great time and everyone came back safe. And hope all the little ones are ready to go back to school tomorrow. Because I guarantee, I know I wasn't when I was in school, but hopefully your kids are different than me. So let's get into it. We got a big show, like I said. We've got news. We're going to talk about what just happened in the ladies national championship. We're going to talk about tomorrow night's national championship game for the guys, and we're going to talk about the early baseball season that is among us. So ladies and gentlemen, let's lock in. Let's get it going. Let's talk about some news. The biggest news of the day and probably of the week is the stunning career of Caitlin Clark has come to an end. And I know it didn't end the way that she wanted to, but man, oh man, it was a hell of a ride. It was a hell of a ride. She dumps like 18 points in the first quarter. Ultimately, Hawkeyes do come up short to South Carolina. So big shout out to South Carolina for a huge dub. Kind of revenging last year's loss to Iowa to get to the national championship. So it was a heck of a game. It was a heck of a game. And let's rewind a little bit and go back to the UConn Iowa game. I think that game was actually better than the game today. I know there's a lot of controversy over that moving screen call, but it is what it is. It is what it is. UConn gave up a 12-point lead, which I believe is the biggest lead of the season that they had given up. So when Paige Buckets talks about how it shouldn't come down to one play, she is absolutely 125% right. Would I like to see the official let him play through there? I do. But I think what shocks me the most is once everything transpires and Caitlin is inbounding the ball and throws it off Paige, I was like, this is the perfect way for this game to end. This is a perfect way. Just a heady play. No one's thinking about that. Now, time did not run out, but it was still fantastic to kind of see that transpire. But big shout out to the Iowa crew and Caitlin. There's no doubt in my mind she's going to be an excellent WNBA player if she does decide to go that route. But yeah, it was a great game. It was a great game. Hell of a game. Hell of a... I was one of 14 or 16 million people that watched the Iowa UConn game and was very, very satisfied with it. It's just a different brand of basketball they're playing nowadays on the women's side. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, next year is going, yes, Caitlin's gone, but there's a whole plethora of young ladies that are just willing to take her spot. Juju out in USC set the freshman scoring record. So maybe she'll be in the hunt for Caitlin's record. You never know. But it was special to watch her because she is a very special player. And one of the most unique things that the 2Ks and I have talked about is um, just her not only her ability to score, but to lead her team in assists, lead the country in assists. It seems like, and so, we all know she's a prolific scorer, but man, is she a prolific passer? I mean, it. I I can't remember a time that you see another college player, let alone an NBA player, have that kind of touch, that kind of just vision on the court. And I know we've caught heat pumping up Caitlin as compared to some of the guys, but she deserves every single accolade that she's earned. And big shout out to the South Carolina coach when she addresses not only the impact that Caitlin had on this season, but her career and moving forward. I thought that was an extremely classy response and in the heat of the moment, because I have a feeling when you're in or behind closed doors, I have a feeling most every coach is like, man, I really like what she's doing. I really like the kind of the pizzazz that she's bringing to the game and the people she's bringing to the game. But ultimately, it's like, man, I wish I had her. I really wish I had her. Can I imagine? Could you imagine the team that our team with her? I guarantee every coach in the country is saying that, except for the Iowa coach, of course. So it instead of resentment or jealousy could overshadow something like that, but she took the time and gave kudos where they're due. So I was really happy about that, pumped about that. But yeah, that was very very cool of her, where she really didn't need to do that. So yeah, it just goes to show you that how classy her and her girls are. So a lot of that team is very young. So I know they're losing their center. She's projected to be the number 3 or number 4 overall pick. Excuse me, along with Caitlin here coming up in the WNBA draft. So going to be big shoes to fill for sure. But I have a feeling this South Carolina crew is going to be in the limelight here. Continue to be in the limelight. Let's not throw shade on what she's done in the past, because this is like her fourth championship. So kudos to her and her girls. And yeah, her program is running on all cylinders, on high octane. So very excited to see where that leads them. But yeah, that's I'll be the first to admit I didn't watch the whole game. I did have some other stuff to do today, but I did peek in, and yeah, well, I'll get to the breakdown here in a little bit. But man, that was a hell of a game. Some more news coming to you is the reason I am solo tonight is 2Ks is coming back from said vacation, sun and fun and bunnin' down in Florida, as he always does. I did line up a replacement, but I think he was scared. But no, not really. He had not an emergency, but something pressing to take care of. So I was trying, 2K crew. I was trying. I know the solo episodes really don't get as many views as when someone else is here, but your boy was trying. We had it lined up for a couple weeks. So yeah, hopefully everything worked out, Christian. So we'll just have to have you on another time. That's it. We'll just have to have you on another time. Some more news, man. Like I said, the baseball season has started, and man, oh man, have UCL tendons been just exploding. Man, Spencer Strider went down, I believe, yesterday. The day before, Shane Bieber. I mean, the list goes on and on and on with these guys, and it's sparking the conversation of, and I'll tell you I'll tell you the theory, and then I'll give you my 2 cents on it. But the last 2 seasons, it seems like there's been more and more dudes going down with Tommy John, and someone said that they have. I don't know how they could do this with only 1 season under the belt with the pitch clock, but the accelerated pitch, or the shortening of the time between pitches, is causing all of this. I honestly don't think that's the case. I honestly don't think you have enough evidence or scientific evidence to actually say that that's legit with just one season. Now, if that were the case, then why was it still happening? Maybe not as frequently. What happened to the guys leading up to last season? Why did they do it? Why did their elbow explode? Well, it's for the main reason that your arm's not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to throw it. Your arm and your shoulder and your elbow are not designed to throw overhand. Let alone, where we don't see where the pitch counts and the pitch clocks and the innings limits and all of this that we didn't see years and years ago. Well, the main reason is those guys like Greg Maddux weren't going out there and throwing 100 miles an hour. They weren't emptying the tank on every single pitch, every single at bat. You saw guys like Nolan Ryan, who is a very large gentleman. He's very tall, very broad, and it's just the way they were brought up. It has nothing to do with the pitch clock, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to say it has nothing to do with the pitch clock. But I have a feeling this is going to be a narrative that all baseball fans are going to be just bombarded with all season. Because with the numbers and everything else, there has to be something behind it. There has to be some sort of reason why. Well, the reason why is all of these kids growing up are throwing year-round. Their arms are not allowed to rest, recover. You know what I mean? I mean, heck, I have friends that their kids play travel ball, and they might get 4 or 5 weeks off a year. And when you're growing and developing, that is huge. That is huge to let your body, especially when it's building itself, fix itself. Maybe I'm completely off on this. This is something that, it's just my feeling. But we're seeing kids nowadays they're in the gym earlier. They're throwing more. They're lifting heavier weights. Whereas growing up, we went outside and played. We didn't even think about getting in the weight room at 12 and 13 years old. Maybe that's why none of us grew up to be Major League Baseball players, but it's definitely not because of the pitch clock. Let's be one. And am I a fan of the pitch clock? Kinda. I know if you followed us last year, it was kind of, going into the season, we're like, man, this is gonna suck. This is really gonna suck. But it's kind of integrated itself in the background. And kudos to the graphics guys and gals at all of these productions that it's not like glaring in your face and blinking, and because yes, that would be absolutely infuriating to watch. So thank you for making it subtle. So it does kind of work in the background, but I just think that with the style of pitching, wherever you have to throw 100 miles an hour or you're not going to be successful. You have to have a slider that just drops off the table, or you're not going to be successful. This is what you're going to have to expect this. You're going to have to expect this. Is there any way to fix it? I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I'm not even getting into that. But yeah, I think that's enough of the news. If anyone else has some newsworthy topics, drop them in the comments and we'll go over them. Yeah, let's jump into the March Madness. Yeah, I know I touched on the ladies a little bit. Well, let's take a gander at the guys here. I took a screenshot of the odds. Let's see. This is tomorrow night at 9:20. Jesus Christ, can we make it like 7 or 8? Damn. Thankfully, the college games don't go as long as NFL games because it's a Monday night. Come on. But the line that I have as of 8:24 Sunday night, UConn is a 6.5 point favorite with an over under at 145.5. Before I give you my pick, let's kind of recap to see what got him here. Purdue, both of these teams have just been wagons. I mean, this is when you filled your bracket out. No matter what your fandom is, this is the matchup that you wanted to see. This is, these have been the top two teams, no matter which way you wanted to put it throughout the whole season. This is what we've been wanting. Yes, throughout the whole tournament, we've seen the dogs bark, and those underdogs have just been coming through. But the last couple rounds, the cream kind of rises to the top, and the more talented team has won. So this, in my opinion, this is the matchup I think everyone wants to see. Yes, I know the Purdue NC State yesterday. That was entertaining. You kind of see the bigs bang around, and this is no shot at the NC State guy, but Zach Edey's just too big. I know old buddy is a big man himself and could be a left tackle in the NFL with his feet and his hands and his just spatial awareness. Basketball probably isn't. I mean, it's a great story. It was a great story, and if Zach Edey had not played this year, then NC State bottled to get here. Excuse me. That probably would have played out. But we've seen throughout this whole tournament Zach Edey just be a beast. A beast. I believe he has tied the record for, I think it's 20-point games, 10 rebound games. He's done it all 5 games in this tournament. I expect him to do it again. And UConn has just been, you talk about a wagon. Up until the game yesterday, they had won by like 30 points. So if anytime you were taking a spread on that one, you were hitting it. The over under for both of these teams has been kind of sporadic. What I've noticed throughout the whole tournament is I've been betting at halftime, betting the under for the final score, and I've probably hit, I'd say, 80% of those bets. So I don't know if it's the I guess I'm not even really sure what the book is doing, but continue to do it next year, please, because I'm going to be hammering these even harder, and I hope you join me. Don't have the balls yet to throw money on every single game and take the dogs. I've been following a gentleman on TikTok that's done that, and he's underwater. He is underwater. He needed at least one of the dogs yesterday to come through, which they didn't. And so I'm not saying maybe in the first 2 days, maybe, but for the whole tournament, can't do it. And so, yeah, I've been betting the unders on the final scores, live betting at halftime. So that's Turbo's gambling tip of the day. Use it at your will, gamble responsibly, all of that good shit. But yeah, it was almost destined that these two teams were going to make it. At the beginning, we talked about how UConn's bracket was, it should have been easier, and this and that and the other thing. But you know what? When it comes down to it, these are the two teams I think everyone wanted to see. Same thing on the women's side. I'm pretty sure, yes, the path for Iowa was a little bit more difficult to get there, having to go through LSU, then UConn to get to South Carolina. But man, that just led to some great TV. And with this UConn Purdue matchup, it is. I have a feeling that Edey's going to get his, even though UConn does have a couple bigs that I think can slow him down. Are they going to stop him? No. I think ultimately UConn's guards are better. I think they're going to be the kind of the X factor on this one. So give me UConn. I'll give the 6.5 and give me the under. Give me the under on this. it kind of pains me to bet unders because if you think about football, it's like when you're betting unders, you're betting bad football. With basketball, I don't have nearly the problem I do betting unders than I do on football. Now, mind you, a lot of these unders have that hook has saved my ass probably 3 or 4 times. So, has it been an emotional ride? Yes. Have there been some slam dunks? 100%. Let me give you an example. This was last night. I think it was last night. Come on. FanDuel is not loading up right now. But while that takes it, there we go. I know this is great content. Watching me watch my phone. But yeah, like I said, there's been a couple of these that the hook has been a lifesaver, and there's been a couple of these where it just didn't even matter. Let's see here. Alabama UConn was 158 in the under. I took the under over at halftime at 168.5. I took the under, so that one hit pretty easily. And there's been a couple others too that have unders have been awesome. They have been awesome. So I think all in all, throughout the whole tournament, I'm up probably 6.5, 7 units, somewhere in there. So we're doing good. Not as good as had I not wasted a lot of money trying to bet first fives. We'd probably be up 11 or 12. But that's gambling, baby. That's gambling. So I'm very excited for the game tomorrow. I really am. Like I said, give me UConn. And give me the under. So let's talk. Let's switch gears to baseball here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm watching along with the Houston, the Astros and Rangers. Astros are currently up 3-0 on Texas. And it came from, I believe there was a walk or 2 walks, and then Alvarez just hit an absolute bomb, which has been the difference in the game so far. We're in the top of the 6th. Man, this game seems like it's clipping along at a good pace. But this is kind of a preview, ladies and gentlemen, of what's gonna. I have a feeling these two teams are going to be in it throughout the whole season. So, but let's take a gander here at some of the standings. Yes, I know. I know it's the first 2 weeks. Teams have had 10 or 11 games. I get it. But being part of the media, this is what you do. You overreact to what's in front of you. The American League East is led by the Yankees. I think the Yankees have gotten off to a hotter start than most everyone, including myself, would have thought. The pitching has been pretty good. Juan Soto is an absolute stud so far. And Anthony Volpe is having a great bounce back in his sophomore season over there in the Bronx. So they're 8-2. This is coming as a complete shock to me. My Red Sox are 7-3, sitting a game behind. Yes, they've been on the West Coast. Yes, they've played some really shitty teams. But if you are a Red Sox fan, you know that they traditionally do not play well on the West Coast. So to come away with a 7-3 record, their opening day at Fenway is tomorrow. Cannot wait for that. But the kind of the thing that jumps out at me is the 3 losses they could have easily won. So if you would have told me after 10 games, 7-3, I would have definitely taken it. Followed by the Orioles, Rays, and Blue Jays. Worst record in that division is 4-6, and that's the Blue Jays. If the Yankees and Red Sox are going to stay relevant, this division is going to be one to keep an eye on. And I'm not saying that just because my Red Sox are in it, but this could be really exciting. Moving on to the AL Central, led by the Cleveland Guardians at 7-2. one of those teams that I talked about in the news segment, Shane Bieber, man, he was looking untouchable. He was looking like the Shane Bieber of old. I believe it was 2019. Won, won the Cy Young. So as a big Biebs fan, very, very heartbroken that had to take place. Hopefully he bounces back. This is a contract year, so at this point, no one's going to trade for him. I wouldn't think so. Hopefully he gets back and gets with a team that appreciates him and puts some talent around him. I know the Guardians are 7-2 right now, but they are not a team that traditionally, gets and hangs on to prospects, throughout their whole career. The Tigers, a big shocker here. I was going to give 2Ks the floor to talk about his Tigers, 6-3, and I believe the Tigers were the last unbeaten team in baseball. So, and I know they've dropped a couple heartbreakers here at home, but this Tigers team is going to be fun to watch. 2K Crew, they're going to be really fun to watch. I myself cannot wait. The Tigers are back. They're relevant. They're back. They're still extremely young, which is good and a bad thing. It would, as a closet Tigers fan, I would like to see them go get a more experienced bat to go in the middle of that lineup. But Hinch has got the boys rolling. That pitching staff, I think, is farther along than what a lot of folks have thought. And Tigers fans, you have a Cy Young candidate in Tyreek Skubal that hopefully he puts together a fantastic season and could possibly bring home some hardware. Kansas City Royals are sitting at 6-4, with the Twins at 3-4, and the White Sox. Man, this is one of the reasons I was excited that Christian was coming on the show so we could talk about how bad his White Sox are. 1-8. Yeah, the South Side is definitely not in a good spot right now. Not in a good spot. AL West, we're talking about the Rangers and the Astros. The Rangers sit atop that division 6-2, and the Astros are at the bottom 2-7. At the Oakland A's, as it sits right now, have a better record than the Astros. Will that continue throughout the season? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. With the Angels are sitting there at 5-4. I believe they took at least one, if not two, from my Red Sox. Mariners 4-6. Like I said, the A's 3-7. And now let's jump over to the National League. NL East, excuse me. The Braves sit atop that division 6-2. Philly 4-5. Mets, which, man, that Mets team is just terrible. And that they're terrible, yet they're third in their division because there's two other teams in the Nats and the Marlins that are even worse. Now, I do think the Marlins, are better than those two. Will they eventually leapfrog the Nats and the Mets? Yes, I do. But as it sits right now, they have the worst record in baseball at 1-9. Whereas and just to give you a for instance, early in the season, less than 10 games or less, the Marlins have a run differential of -25, and the Braves have a run differential of +26. And the Braves have played 2 less games. Let that sink in. The Braves have played 2 less games, and there's over 50 runs that separate the top and bottom of that division. But I do see that this, the Braves and Phillies are going to run away with this division again. Whoever does not win the NL East will get a wild card for sure. But that's it's a 2-horse race. It's a 2-horse race. Over in the Central, this Central is going to be exciting to watch too. Pittsburgh Pirates leading the division 8-2, followed by the Brewers 6-2, Cubs 6-3, the Reds 5-4, and the Cardinals are 5-5. Now, as far as record is concerned, this is the closest division. Now, remember when I told you the Braves 26 runs, Marlins minus 25? Well, in this division, the Pirates are plus 18. The Brewers are plus 10. Cubs are plus 16. Reds are plus 7. And the Cardinals are minus 5. So just to kind of give you an idea of how this division is going to stack up, this is going to be probably one of the most entertaining divisions to watch. Just because there isn't a head and shoulders team that's better than the rest of them. Granted, we saw last year the Pirates had a fantastic start like this and kind of petered off, but they lost O'Neal Cruz for the year. And I'm very, very excited about what he can and will do to this lineup. And they're pitching a little bit. They could bolster that rotation a bit, but as it sits right now, 8-2, leading the division by 1 game. This Cubs team, 2K crew, I think can make some noise. Hopefully Justin Steele can get back. He has not had the greatest start to a season. Got it hit by a comebacker in his last preseason game, and then came up with a hamstring. Probably going to have him out for probably the next few weeks. So hopefully he can get back to that lineup. And as far as hitting is concerned, this team can hit. This team can field. This team can pitch. They have the highest paid manager in baseball. I know that sounds weird coming from Chicago, but yeah, Craig Counsell has the boys humming. I do expect that. I honestly think the Cubs are going to end up winning this division, and possibly the Pirates getting a wild card out of this one. But the NL West, the Dodgers are sitting atop of that one with a record of 8-4. Padres are 5-7, D-backs 4-6, Giants 4-6, and the Rockies 2-8. The Rockies have just as many wins as the Astros on this young season. But remember those run differential numbers I told you about? With this lineup that the Dodgers trot out there every single night, 3 MVPs to lead start the game off, their run differential is +9. The Diamondbacks, who are 4-6, have a run differential of +16, and 10. They have +16, but they've played 2 less games, so keep that in mind too. Do I think this is going to be a trend? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Still, the thing that scares me with the Dodgers is the pitching. I know Yamamoto has come since starting in the United States, has looked as promised. They had the clunker in Korea, has come back kind of with a vengeance so far. So that's if you're a Dodgers fan, that's gotta calm you down a little bit. But Kershaw's not there. May's not there. Tony Gonsolin's not there. So there's a lot of arms that are missing from that Dodgers lineup. So to have a record of 8-4 right now doesn't shock me. What shocks me is the run differential. With this lineup, with the money they've paid for those hitters, this should be a +25, +30 run differential. But maybe it goes to show you that maybe that pitching, the hitting can only outweigh the pitching by so much. Who knows? I know it's still way young in the season here, but as far as the other teams in this division, the Padres, I think, are still going to be good. Hopefully they can get they've kind of been in the shitter here the last couple years. I know it's not always, what definitely wasn't the plan to trade Juan Soto after trading for him and that little experiment gone awry. But if they do happen to fall out of contention and a team needs a shortstop, that team has about 8 of them on the squad, so maybe they could part ways with one. It seems like they traded away the only guy that was not a shortstop, and maybe if Soto was a shortstop, they would have kept him. I don't know. I don't know, but it seems like every shortstop is going to San Diego. But the Diamondbacks are still the Diamondbacks. I mean, the Diamondbacks really didn't catch fire. I guess you could say it until later in the season. So, but the Giants are the one I'm kind of keeping my eye on in this division, aside from the Dodgers with the acquisitions they made. Yes, they weren't the sexy, the sexy splashes that a lot of the other teams made, in particular the Dodgers, but they were sneaky good, and they filled voids that this Giants team needed. They saw a deficiency in the big league squad, went out and addressed them, and addressed them relatively cheap in comparison to how the Dodgers threw around money. So that's the team I'm keeping an eye on in that division. So now the one thing I really want to expand upon here is, we started off with the AL East, and this Orioles team is 2.5 games back, sitting there 5-4, and all of the news coming from Baltimore really isn't coming from Baltimore. It's coming from the AAA squad. These boys in the AAA squad are just raking. Jackson Holliday isn't even with the team yet, and it is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane to think what this team can and will be once they plug all the right pieces in, and it's just a matter of they're already good. Who are you gonna take out to put this piece in? And that's, thankfully, I don't have to make those decisions. That's way above my pay grade. But to have a wealth like that is obviously a good thing. They've been at the bottom. They've had number one picks for so many years that they're finally paying off. And that's going to be an exciting team. I mentioned Jackson Holliday. You got Kjerstad that still hasn't even sniffed the major leagues yet. And like I said, this team is absolutely raking. And I was listening to Pardon My Take on the way home from Three Rivers, either today or yesterday. And they brought up a valid point. And I'll kind of get into this, and then once 2Ks comes back next week, we'll kind of, expand upon it. But what if baseball had what the European soccer leagues do, where I believe it's called relegation or something like that, where the bottom two teams get sent down and the top teams from the lower league get brought up, or allocation, relocation, something like that, demarcation, whatever it is. And that would kind of, because baseball is it is the only sport that doesn't have a salary floor, meaning there's a handful of players that are making excuse me. There's a handful of players that make more a year than what Oakland's paying their entire team. So there isn't a salary floor. There isn't a salary cap per se, but you have to pay the luxury tax. And if you're anything like the Dodgers, they don't care. So what would be kind of interesting is if you did put something like this in place, where like the top two or the bottom two teams of the MLB get sent down, and the top two minor league teams get brought up. Yes, I know you'd have the minor league team of one, minor league team in the big leagues playing against the big league team. It wouldn't work. I'm just saying there needs to be something like this, just because it'll force owners to spend money. It'll force owners to spend money where, the traditional, tight, like the Rays, for instance. We talked about the Guardians, how they never want to pay their homegrown talent. Most of the teams in the NL Central, most of the teams in the AL Central, they, with the exception of Kansas City, where they've paid Bobby Witt Jr., which Bobby Witt Jr., lock in your MVP votes now. Lock them in. Get on FanDuel. Lock those bets in because, man, it is going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. He is legit. I love every minute of him. And they were probably in the American League. They won free agency. They won free agency. I can't remember a year where the Royals outspent the Red Sox by a whole shit ton. And then when the Red Sox do sign a guy in Giolito, his arm explodes. So it's we're not getting into that. We're talking about this allocation thing, but it would, because you wouldn't want your team, your big league team, to go down and play in the minors. No, if you look at how much money a minor league club brings in as compared to the big league team, night and day. So that would be an incentive. Yes, I know it will never happen. But it's just something cool to think about. Cody says, what I missed? Sorry, I'm late. Well, rewind it, player. Rewind it. Bing. Now, we talked about how good Caitlin Clark is. Talked about how good the South Carolina team is. I gave you my picks for tomorrow night. And we've just been breaking down some baseball here, playa. And since we talked about that, let's jump into some stats, because there's going to be some names that jump off the page that I don't think you were ready to hear. And now this is all of Major League Baseball, not just AL or NL. I could probably give you 25 guesses, and you never guess who is leading the league in batting average. That is Michael A. Taylor. Followed closely by the aforementioned Anthony Volpe. He's hitting 424. Will Smith at 415, getting jiggy with it. Logan O'Hoppe and Spencer Steer round out the top 5, all hitting over 400 so far. Home runs. I bet you wouldn't have known that the new shortstop for the LA Dodgers, Mr. Mookie Betts, is tied for the league lead with 5 home runs with Tyler O'Neill for the Red Sox. And Tyler hasn't even played. He's platooning. He doesn't even start every day. And a name that sits here at number 3 is refreshing to me to see as a baseball fan. Mike Trout sitting there with 4. And I believe he hit one the other day that has not landed yet. It went 470 some feet. That is obscene. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, do whatever we got to do to keep Mike Trout healthy all year. And maybe Red Sox need to trade for him. I'm saying it right now. Red Sox need to trade for him. Marcelo Zuna has 4, and Teoscar Hernandez has 4. RBIs. The aforementioned Teoscar Hernandez already has 14. Jake Berger has 12. Suzuki for the Cubs has 12. Spencer Steer for the Reds has 12. And Mookie has 11. With this Steer kid, every time I look up and I'm trying to, I'm looking at the box score at the Reds game, his name is plastered all over that thing. So this dude he's hit the ground running so far this year. Leading, and this is insane. Now, remember I told you that the Dodgers only have a 9+9 run differential? Well, 3 of their guys are the top 3 hits in all of baseball. Mookie at 17, Will Smith at 17, and Shohei at 16. For those Cubs fans that did get out to see Shohei in Chicago, I bet you that was pretty cool. Cody says 479, I do believe, over the Cabana. Yes, sir. That was awesome. That was awesome. And stolen base leaders. Oh, and then number 4 is Jarren Duran for the Red Sox, and Stephen Kwan for the Guardians at 15, respectfully. Stolen bases, Bryce Turig has 7. Jose Siri has 6. Jaron Duran has 6. And Ellie De La Cruz has 5. So let's jump over to the pitching. Pitching leaders and wins. Luke Weaver for the Yankees has 3. He's 3-0. Tyler Glass now has 2. Michael King has 2. Cody Bradford has 2. And a whole slew of folks are there with 2. ERA. All these dudes are zeros. Imanaga for the Cubs just pitched a hell of a game the other night. Paul Blackburn for Oakland, shocker. Marcus Stroman is now a Yankee. Has 0. Shane Bieber we talked about with 0, and Tanner Houck for the Red Sox has 0. Let's switch over to the bullpen. Saves. Clay Holmes for the Yankees has 4. Emmanuel Class for Cleveland has 4. Kyle Finnegan for the Nats has 3. Ryan Haley for the Cardinals has 3. And a whole slew of folks with 3 strikeouts. This is the one that's kind of shot, or nope, it doesn't shock me because I can't read. Garrett Crochet for the White Sox has 21. Beebs has 20. Like I said, that dude was off to a hot start. Reed Detmers 19. Tanner Houck 17, and a whole bunch of others there with 17. So yeah, there's a lot of movers and shakers. Yes, I know it's early. 2K crew, but if you can't get excited about baseball, then what are you even doing here? I know I'm stoked, and like I said, it would have been fun to get Christian on here to talk about how bad his White Sox are, and I've been singing the praises of my Red Sox. It would have been awesome to get 2Ks on here, which we will next week, I'm sure. He'll be able to talk to you about the start to the Tigers season. So all in all, I think it's been an awesome start to the 2024 season. We're seeing kind of things play out, kind of what we thought, but there's always some surprises, which is the best part. I'm just kind of looking over some scores here today. Man, the A's, damn, 7-1 against the Tigers. Brew Crew 12-4 over the Mariners. Cubs 8. Beat the Dodgers 8-1. Let's go. And that Dodgers team made 3 errors. And the Red Sox beat up on the Angels 12-2. 12-2. Hell of a way to get. That's a hell of a getaway day. Hell of a, to keep the momentum rolling into the home opener at Fenway tomorrow. I cannot wait. For that. I can't wait for this March Madness game, the conclusion of March Madness. And while we're talking about that, we have a very, very close March Madness bracket challenge going right now. It's pretty much the only 2 people that can win are Mr. 2Ks himself and Jade Newell. And ironically enough, 2Ks has UConn and Jay has Purdue. And I believe there's like 10 points separate them. I could be wrong. So whoever wins this game wins the pot, and it is a winner take all. So that makes it even more exciting. Coming down to the wire. That's the way it should be. No one wants to see someone just take off with it. That's no fun. Well, 2K crew, I think it's no top 5 today. We'll wait till 2Ks gets back next week, and maybe we'll slide Christian in here next week too, so he can talk about the start to the Marcellus baseball season. Let me see if I can pull that up here real quick. I probably can't, but we'll try. Because I believe tomorrow or Tuesday is the opening, or the home opener for the Wildcats. Of course, it doesn't pop up. Anyway, Anyway, we'll hopefully get him in here to talk about that and talk about some other things. Talk about some other things, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. The if you see the new hat, snapback, what? Those are available on the Etsy store. So I did provide the link over there. So get on over there. The both this one and the Flex Fit are available. So go ahead and hit that up, and drop a photo of you rocking it in the Turbo and 2K's Facebook group, which is if you're watching this in Facebook is where you're watching. So for those of you on YouTube or in the audio land, facebook.com/group/2K crew, get in there. And for those of you that are in there, invite some folks. Let's grow this group. We have over 300 subs on YouTube now, and we have over almost 600 people in the group. So this is going extremely well. Love the momentum that this show has. Love each and every one of you that do let us do what we do. But yeah, Cody has one more thing here. Marcellus needs a bass team. Start one. I have no idea. You'd have to talk to Kyler about that one. I think he does the one in Three Rivers, or did. I wouldn't even know how to start that. I don't fish. Cody, you know that. I've made fun of you about that. But yeah. For those of you that are interested in the Marcellus Bass team, look up Cody. He'll give you all the information. Well, 2K crew, we'll get you out of here on that. I've been talking for almost an hour straight. So, yeah, everyone enjoy the game tomorrow. Get in the group and let me know. Let me know your bets. I'm curious to see where the 2K crew are, kind of weighing in. Are you Purdue and taking the points, or are you UConn? And are you taking the over and under? And again, Facebook. Follow us over on YouTube, youtube.com/2K crew, because might not be able to live stream into the group anymore. So don't want you to miss out. If you do enjoy this, would love to have you over on YouTube, and that way too, it's a little bit more fun, and I can pull your comments up like this, and it just doesn't say Facebook user. Cody says UConn by 27. Damn. That's a big one. So Cody's definitely comfortable with the 6.5. I think we can put that to bed. All right, 2K crew, I'll get you out of here on that. Everyone have a great week. Let's all win our bets tomorrow. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you.